I thank God every day for giving me the opportunity to have the career I have, you know, and I think everybody get that moment, you know, when you feel like it's time to go.
No one knew who he was. He came to Boston. It was the perfect storm. The city, the team, the player, and most importantly, the expectations. It all came together, and he captured that, and boom.
As a player, you gotta be thankful to the fans for the support through the years, because we make our living because of the fans.
And at first, when he began with the Red Sox, he had no spot, he had no job, and he nearly quit. But now, we know 13 seasons later with the Red Sox, he's up there in the big Mount Rushmore of Red Sox legends, and he's got 3 rings, which no one else has.
And over time, he became a spokesman for the Red Sox and a spokesman for Boston. And at no time was that bigger than after the marathon attacks.
This is our city. And nobody gonna dictate our freedom. Stay strong.
David Ortiz became one of us that day. He wasn't David Ortiz of the Red Sox that day. He was David Ortiz Bostonian.
I wouldn't call it cockiness, but there's been a lot of confidence in this guy since day one.
Just him walking to the plate, there's, I call it anticipation. You know, very few players can bring that to the game.
Later on, he accepted the title of leader, certainly memorably in the World Series in St. Louis, where he gathered everybody.
Basically calling the team together. I can't get into the choice words that were used at the time. It had an effect to propel us not only in Game 5, but send us back to Boston and finish off the series in 6 games.
Every time we lose a game, I suffer just like them. I get so prepared to win, and all of a sudden, you don't. It's something that you get into you, and Red Sox fans, that's how they always has been.
He took them to spots that a century of people were unfamiliar with the Red Sox being in.
He rises to the moment in the biggest moments, not just in the regular season, but especially in October in postseason baseball. And that's how you're going to cement a legend.
It was the grand slam against the Detroit Tigers in the ALCS when Torrey Hunter flipped over the wall.
The so-called curse on their shoulders and being down 3-0, and then all of a sudden David Ortiz with the game-winning home run and game-winning hits in games 4 and 5. To me, there's nothing like that in terms of the comeback and what he did, and just being in Fenway that night, the electricity, everyone was exhausted. It was a late-inning game, and you know how Fenway builds and builds, and here's David Ortiz with any walk-off moment with David Ortiz is amazing.
The only real controversy with David Ortiz is he did fail the drug test in '03, random testing.
He swore he'd get to the bottom of it. He did not launch his own personal investigation as far as we know. If so, they're still digging. They haven't come up with the answers yet.
He was loud, he was boisterous, but he was lovable. And you know, over time, people are going to remember the home runs. People are going to remember the walk-offs and the World Series victories.
A guy with a big personality with the numbers to back it up, those are the kind of guys you want to write about.
There was so much drama, so much to write about, so much personality, that you can't not miss that.